Mr. Mike.
What's up,
Dude,
man?
Fucking thank you, man.
Absolutely.
So, to be honest with you, man, I am. Can you hear all right? It's
I
kind
can
of
hear
low.
great. I hear
Okay.
perfect. Yeah. Do I have to talk into the mic like this?
Just like how you are is fine. Yeah. I mean, don't fucking like go. You know? Yeah. To be honest with you, man, like I'm a fucking fanboy of you. I like what you're doing on social media. I like as far as the business that you're doing, dude. Like you are fucking real estate. Like we were saying earlier, like dude, like not to be like gay or whatever, but like that shit turns me on, man. Like I love like all things that like I see the potential in it. I see where it's moving. Tell me a little bit about you, man. How did you get started? First and foremost, how old are you?
I'm 23.
You're fucking killing it, dude. You're fucking killing it. And currently you have some rentals, right?
I do. I'm 23, man. I have. I just sold quite a bit of stuff. I'm down to like 39 units total.
39.
39.
Damn.
After this month, I'll be closer to 45 because I'm closing on some deals.
What's your goal for the year? Are you looking to get like at 100 or?
I want to surpass 100.
Okay.
That's definitely the goal for 2023.
Man, hopefully I can bring you some business because I've been doing like a little bit of like wholesaling and trying to like get into that stuff, and I don't have all the resources to like. I could either buy, but I can't buy and fix. You know, I can't. I'm not fucking loaded. You know, so I can get them.
You don't have to be loaded, but I get what you mean.
Correct,
yeah.
creative financing, right? Like which is another. That's what I kind of try to tell people. Like, you don't need to have money, or people don't want to do the work. They don't want to learn, man.
It's the sad part, right, about today's day and age. Nobody wants to work anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody's kind of following suit of just like what the Joneses are doing and keeping up with. I'm in Crocs, bro. You were like, you're in Crocs. And I'm like, why don't fucking?
It's what we do, man.
Yeah,
Comfortable
fucking
people.
laid
Yeah.
back, man.
You know that, man. Once you, and it's something that we've dabbled on like a month ago, where we first met originally at one of the events I was speaking at. But
which was a good fucking event, dude.
Yeah, it
was
was a cool event. There was
in.
a lot of people showed up too. I think there was like, man, I think close to 100 people, maybe more.
Yeah.
So it was pretty dope. But one of the things we talked about is, man, finding people that you can relate to. Dude, I feel like I relate to you a ton. And there's a bunch of friends that I have, and I feel like we all relate to each other involved in real estate. Yeah. That's what people love, man. To find clients, right? Your goal, you have your goals behind us. I haven't read them. I don't know how many deals you want to do this year, but man, to find clients, it'd be so easy because you can relate to people easier, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and like kind of like some of the guys were asking me, like, man, like, how do you, you're fucking taking off. Like, you got listings, you got this or whatever. Like, how do you do it? And I'm like, man, honestly, dude, not to sound cocky or be fucking arrogant or whatever, it just comes natural. Yeah, I have a weird way, like, God gave me a gift. He couldn't make me perfect, so he made me short and bald, right? So I just have a weird way of connecting with people. I have a weird way of just, for some reason, that's my niche. Like, if somebody can say, what's Fernando's best quality? Me, personally, like, I just have a weird way. You're sitting with me in my house, and I was stalking you on social media. And I was like, this dude's fucking killing it. You know, they got to follow, you know? And like, look, we're here now. I don't know. I don't know what it is that I have. I just have some weird, like.
It's a good thing. It's a blessing, man. I feel like I've always had that as well. When you feel that, dude, that's that inner fire, right? That's inside of you. And it can never stop.
And then you have that. You already have the key to business as far as like connecting with people. And then you add resources behind that. And you're just the middleman for just all things resources. And it's fucking awesome, man. Yeah. So you said 39 or so doors?
39 total right now. That's long-term rentals. That's not including any of the short-term flips or anything like that.
So how did you end up getting started in real estate, right? So right now, if you were to walk away from, I mean, I guess passive income wise or whatever, you're good, huh?
I'm good. I'm not where I want to be.
Correct. Yeah. But I
could technically, it's like they say financial freedom is when you can stop work or whenever your passive income surpasses your expenses. Technically, I'm financially free, right?
Yeah, you're set. But you're just, obviously there's
there's so much more, man.
People like us, you just never. It's never like I can't. Okay, I'm good. I'm done.
Absolutely, you got that. You got that hunger, man. You know, you always want more, which I think is a blessing and a curse in a way.
It is because it's never enough, and
exactly.
your natural desire is just constantly to like keep going and keep going.
Unfortunately, and keep going. That's why I think the bigger thing is not just chasing the object itself, like money, for example. It's purpose, bro.
What's your purpose? Yeah,
exactly.
And that's why like I got into this because I was chasing money at the plant, and I was like, man, and I made 6 figures, and then I've been making 6 figures for like the last couple years, and I'm like, this is a lot of my time.
Yeah,
I'm giving up a lot of my youth and my younger days and my mobility days where like I can function and I can stretch and my back doesn't hurt, you know, like I'm trading them, and it's silly. It's fucking silly, man. So you are good as far as how did you get into real estate, right? So I don't know anybody that I couldn't go to my dad or my parents or whatever. Did you have somebody in your life that was like, come here, I'm going to show you the gift?
You know, nobody in my family, nobody in my immediate family.
Are you first generation American?
I'm a first generation American.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah. Parents were born and raised in Mexico. Mom's from Guanajuato. Dad's from Michoacan.
That's badass.
Yeah, dude. And, you know, nobody in my family has ever owned another property except for the one that they live in, right? So everybody's had a homestead. Actually, I'm lying to you. My dad, one time, 10 years ago, he bought a house off of Edna Street, 77087, south part of Houston. And he bought it owner financed, and he sold a year later. And he made like a 35K profit margin.
Damn.
And I think about it now, and I always meant to ask him, like, man, did that not strike something inside of you to say, hey, maybe I should keep doing this? And it didn't, you know? So aside from that one deal that my dad did 10 years ago, nobody's been involved in real estate. I started at 19. So I was 19 years old. I grew up in a family business. My dad has mechanic shops all south of Houston. He's got a couple mechanic shops close to Hobby Airport. And I grew up there. Man, I didn't have vacations. I graduated from Pearland High School. I have friends that went to Breckenridge, Colorado in the winter, and they went to Cabo San Lucas in the summer, right? I didn't do any of that. Man, I was at the shop. So I think that's where I get my...
Your hunger, your drive?
A little bit, yeah, a lot of it, actually. All of it, I believe, comes from there. And not only that, but the fact of this, like talking to people... My dad would joke and say that I'm the pretty face of the company. Yeah. You know, and literally, like, dude.
You're a good-looking dude.
Man. I am. Yeah. I appreciate it. No, but what he meant by that was, like, I'm the guy in the office talking to people. Yeah. He never wanted me in the back busting knuckles. Yeah. Right? So I thank him for that a lot. But, yeah, man, nobody was in real estate. I started at 19. I met a mentor. He's still my mentor. He's my best friend. The guy changed my life, but I met that one dude.
Send the link, bro.
Yeah, I shouldn't. Hey,
come on, let's do it, smell, bro.
No, but man, that one dude. It's funny what they say. It's like the quote, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. Yeah. I live by that now. Yeah. Relationships is everything, literally.
Dude, and you know, like some people like. It took me a little while to learn this, and I've heard it in podcasts, and I've like read it in shit or whatever, right? And like, the more people you like. The people that are in this and doing this, right, they want to talk about it. Absolutely. They want to brag about themselves. They want to speak. And the moment you open that door and initiate that conversation, dude, these people will go on forever. Absolutely. And like, if they see you're trying to do something and they see that fire in you and they see that like potential in you, dude, these people are more than... I've had deals where like people will rather come to me and use me, just like not even in real estate, just in anything, right, because of my passion and my fire for what I'm doing. Yeah. And they pass up their family, they pass up their siblings, they pass up their kids, absolutely, like because of the fact that like I appreciate shit, like just random shit, you know. But that's awesome, man. So you started at 19. How did you first get started? What was your first deal? Did you get your license first, or?
So I started working for a real estate company, and I started being what's called an ISA, an inside sales agent. And I've always been really good at talking to people. That's what we just said. Specifically with this thing. Like, I've never been scared. I've never been afraid to hop on this and to make phone calls. Ever. So when I was 19...
Even when people, like, hang up on you and they call you, like...
I'm not... Dude, that's it. On to the next. Yeah. Like, it's a rejection game, you know? I'm not afraid of rejection. 10 people could tell me to screw off. It's just a matter of time until
someone's going to say yes.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. So every single day as an inside sales agent for this huge real estate company, man, I would make 100, 200 phone calls a day. I'd speak to 50 to 60 people, and guaranteed not a day went by where I didn't set at least one appointment. So since then, my goal, even to this day, I still cold call. Every single day I hop on this, not just this, but I have a dialer, right? A little bit more tech savvy now, but my goal even to this day is to set one appointment a day. If I can do that, I'm happy. I can go to sleep happy. It doesn't mean even if I have a closing and it's the most amount of money I've ever made on a deal, if I didn't lead generate and hop on the phone for a couple hours that day to set an appointment, I feel worthless. Yeah. Because that's what my business strives off of. That's the only way I could feed myself.
Yeah, that's the fuel.
That's the fuel. Yeah. That's it. Which is good and it's bad. It's good because I know how to get it. But I would say it's bad because I would like it to eventually be the opposite, where I have business coming to me as opposed to me hunting for it, right? But it comes with time. I've only been doing this for 4 years now. So...
You can't say only, dude. 4 years is a lot of time.
4 years is a lot of time.
And you learned a lot in 4 years, dude. You're fucking moving, man. You're fucking you're the snowball effect is fucking, at least from what I see, like you are moving, dude.
I've been blessed. I can't complain at all. Man, my first year, when I was an inside sales agent, I did that for 4 months. And then some agent on the team left, and I ended up almost like stepping into that role as an agent as opposed to just some ISA that's making phone calls into the actual agent that's going on appointments. So for those 8-9 months, I closed 36 transactions, my first year ever.
Damn, dude.
Absolutely. And then ever since then, man, it's just been nonstop, I was always looking for, it's like they say, shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
So I did that for a year. I did that for the next year. Next year I closed 45 deals, a little bit more than my first one. And then it was, what's the next thing? And then I found investing, right? Then I found wholesaling. Then I found flipping houses. Then I found buying stuff and keeping stuff. That's kind of where I am now.
So what is Sin Miedo? What is this? What's
Sin Miedo is my company, man.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm pretty sure you speak Spanish,
Yep.
but for the people that don't, Sin Miedo Investments is my investment firm right here in Houston.
And it means without fear.
It means fearless, essentially. Yeah. The direct translation from Spanish to English is fearless. So fearless investments, if you will.
So what is that? What is it that Sin Miedo does, and kind of what is it as a company?
Absolutely, man. We buy and sell real estate. Really, we buy, sell, and we lease real estate. So I'm kind of the obviously like the father figure of all the entities. I have 6-7 different entities, holding companies. Sin Miedo is kind of the main money maker. All the wholesale deals, all the flips, everything goes under Sin Miedo. And then I have a couple holdings company where the rentals go into. But essentially what we do is we buy and sell real estate. We buy stuff, we fix it up, we lease it, we sell it. Whatever route we end up going, that's what we do. And another avenue of the business is me as an agent. I still do that to this day. I don't practice it a ton. If I'm being transparent with you, last year I closed 2022. I just was finalizing the books. I closed a total of 58 transactions.
That's good, dude.
100% on my own, not even a transaction coordinator. So I did everything, which
Screw
is
that.
which
I have one.
Exactly. It's terrible, man,
Yeah.
because I'm glued, dude. I can never let go of this.
Yeah.
Or else business suffers, right? But out of the 58 transactions, only like 20 of those were me representing clients, which were just friends and families. I don't really represent anybody nowadays. Is
there kind of like a reason why you don't really, press that avenue of it, or is the investment more side kind of like your cup of Joe, right? Like
yeah.
Or what is it? I mean, is your purpose not really that, or what is it about the two that you lean more one way on the other side?
I don't mean to sound like ugly, but it's like people say they don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
Technically, as an agent, you're working for the client.
Yes.
So it's like, it's a little bit like I'm very bad. Like, man, I have this one client right now. Actually, probably shouldn't say this, but I had a client, let's say, and they would sometimes feel a position of power over you.
Yes.
And the second I feel that, it's like, man, I'll send you a termination and we could just get out of business.
Yes.
And, you do your thing and I'll do my thing. Like, I don't need your business. That's technically really what it comes down to. I love representing myself. I love working for myself. When I buy a house, I fix it and I flip it. Man, I do it all on myself. And I have complete control of many different factors.
You don't answer to anybody.
You don't answer to anybody. Not really. Technically, my lender and my money people, but, they trust me to the point to where not really. But essentially, I can help more people and I can put more money into the economy, into the world by me taking on projects. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like when I buy a house, I fix up a house and I flip it or I lease it, whatever's happening. I'm buying it. Title company's making money. Contractors are coming in. Contractors are fixing it up. All the subcontractors, 20, 30 different subcontractors that come in here and fix the house, technically, man, I'm helping provide and feed for their family.
Yep.
Like, dude, that's an amazing freaking feeling.
Yeah.
And the photographer, now my transaction coordinator, like there's so many different people that I can help by me taking on projects. And I think that's the bigger reason, as opposed to just simply not liking not liking to be told what to do.
And kind of like you're saying, like I got into real estate. One, obviously, like no one moves unless money's the factor, right? So like it was a money factor for me, right? And using that gift that I have as far as like building relationships with people,
right?
So I was like, I am resourceful as fuck, and a lot of people like I don't know, I got away with people, right? Why don't I leverage that? Why don't I leverage those qualities that I have and use them in real estate? But to be honest with you, man, like, I don't really promote myself that hard either. I'm not as aggressive with it as I should be as far as business. And I bet if I did, it would probably fucking go through the roof, right? Because I'm pretty relatable, and, like, you know, fuck, we were sitting bullshitting in the garage about the truck and just random stuff that I like and I enjoy, right? And I was like, man, like, how do I scale that this year, right? But I want to get into the kind of what you're doing, the investment side of things. I want to show people that, like, hey guys, you can leave that W-2 and I'm that's one of the reasons why I started following you and why I like support you with what you're doing as far as like liking shit, commenting shit, like the algorithm. It helps, dude.
Appreciate
like
that. Absolutely,
I truly do support what you're doing, and man, it's fucking, I don't know. And then you're so young, dude. You're an inspiration to me because like you're fucking killing it, and I'm like, damn, this dude. Like, okay, how do I? Well, the only reason why I went to that event is because you shared it and I knew you were talking. I didn't even realize all these other people were going. And
I appreciate that.
I met Sergio.
Yeah, Sergio.
Yeah, I met him, and then what's the other guy name? Not Willie, but Willen, the guy that does
Wilney.
Yeah. I met him there.
Sergio,
whatever,
Wilney,
and like,
both good dudes.
And that's why I sat right in the front because I was like, man, if anything, I'm gonna be joking around and bullshitting around. I'm gonna stand out in this fucking room, right? Like, and that's why I was like carrying conversation, like just. I'm here. Fernando's here. And I'm on this side of the table right now. But going forward, I'm going to work my way to be where you're at.
Absolutely.
Or surpass you,
Absolutely.
right? Like that's my fucking goal. And yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just, like I said, I'm a fucking fanboy of yours. And I truly do like what you're doing. So
it means a lot, man. I appreciate that. Just to touch on that, you said it, dude. You're a relatable person. You're easy to like, right? People like you. And you're easy to like people back. You're good at talking. The second you realize what your avenue is to marketing yourself, because people market themselves differently, right? You could become a monster on Instagram.
Yep.
You could do what I'm doing. You can cold call and just outbound lead generation, which isn't the most fun, but it works. Just whatever avenue you end up going, dude, you're going to kill it. Like there's literally no way around it. I'm telling you right now.
I'm hoping for it, man. I've gotten some blessings, and I've been a little bit, you know, it's like I got some momentum, and I just try to stay grounded because it's you know, sometimes it gets to my head, and I'm like, I'm fucking doing it, you know, but I try to stay grounded because like at the end of the day, like it can all be taken away, like
of course.
Pretty quick, man. Man, talk to me about structure.
Yeah.
So you said that, you know, you've got, so we're actually sitting in this is my primary residence,
right?
And actually I just sold it to myself, and I'm now renting it from myself. So I was looking at ways of getting creative and separating my W-2 and separating the real estate stuff. So what I ended up doing is I ended up opening a holding company, right?
Okay.
And that holding company owns two entities, businesses, LLCs, whatever you want to call them, under that. So one is I call it Dirty Bay Property Solutions.
Okay.
And that's gonna be all my sell stuff, and anything less than like 12 months, I'm doing in that realm. And then the other one that I did was a pretty much a business account for this property right here. And my goal is to, I guess if you can give me some advice or kind of like, hey, I probably wouldn't do that or whatever. My goal is to slowly transition out of this and buy something for within the next 6 months to a year, so that I can add something else to my portfolio.
When you say transition out of this, you mean
rent this out 100%, and then just go buy something or whatever ends up working out.
You know, there's different things you could do, man. It really just depends on your goals. I don't know enough of you to tell you, because I'm very, once I meet somebody and I know everything, like, dude, I can give you a solid freaking plan on what to do. I don't know the situation. Man, I don't know, like, for example, if there's a crap ton of equity, not to get personal, but if there's a crap ton of equity in this house, let's say you have $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 worth of equity. Man, if you can, hypothetically speaking, sell tax-free because it's been your homestead, because you've been living here for more than 2 years, I'm assuming. So if you could sell tax-free, take that money, take that liquidity, $200,000-$300,000.
And go play.
If you're bankable, go play. Man, apply for an FHA loan, buy a fourplex, the famous house hacking term. Everybody says it. I will personally sell you a freaking property. Dude, a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex in a hot area with tons of appreciation. buy it, live in one of the units, rent the other units, take that tons of equity that you had from this house, turn around and start playing. Educate yourself on flipping houses if that's what you want to do to grow that money. Because flipping houses, if I'm, being transparent with you, people say, oh, I'm a full-time real estate investor. What do you do? I just flip houses. Man,
you're not an investor.
Dude, that's kind of, it's really just a full-time job, man. Like, and people that flip houses know, and they'll tell you. Yeah. It's literally a full-time job. You're not an investor. You're just, it's a form of active income, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a great way to grow your capital, just like wholesaling. You make a crap ton of money. The question is, what do you do with that money, right? You turn around, and the goal for me is to always buy small apartments. Man, multifamily is my sweet spot, dude. That's what I love. So that's always been the goal. Flip, make money, turn around, buy apartments with it, or even single-family houses.
You just recently came up on a deal, right? Like you had, I think there was something that I saw you online, and you were selling one of the. It was like a balloon type deal or like a package type deal, right? Where you ended up getting a couple properties.
Yeah, I've done. It's funny. Historically speaking, like Q4 has always been my best quarter of every year. The last 3 months, right? October, November, December. Last year was.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Man, I think it's because it's the opposite. Most people, November, December.
Slows down.
Dude, people say, oh, it slows down. They slow down. And I've literally fueled it to be the opposite, to where it says, you're slowing down for a week, 2 weeks without working. Man, I'm going to glue myself and make this happen, right? And the beautiful thing is, man, I don't have kids, right? So, like, I have the freedom to do that stuff.
Me either.
I just glue myself, bro. I have the freedom to do that, man. But... yeah, I don't know how to answer the question specifically because I don't know what your goals are.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to say, like, when somebody's like, hey, how do I get into this? Like, I want to do real estate investing. How do I get into it? And it's like, time out, like, what's your goal?
Absolutely. What's your goal?
Yeah. Honestly, dude, I want to walk away from my W-2. I made...
Are you still working your W-2?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, I don't have kids. Like I said, like you said, you glue yourself to whatever. Like, I am consumed in... working out, and just like, I'm a nerd, dude. Yeah. I'm a fucking nerd when it comes to like certain shit. And it just, I can't walk away from it yet because that's my bread and butter.
Of course.
I'm not in a position where I haven't leveraged real estate big enough to where I can truly walk away from that. And that's one of my goals. And I wrote it down. It's like, I need to get at least 10 grand a month in passive income this year. How I'm going to do that, I don't know. I've got some avenues where in the past, me and my brother have, he's kind of on the same page as me too, right? We have bought some property out in Brazoria, and then we flipped it. Made $2,000-$3,000 on it or whatever. I think what I'm going to start doing, watching Pace and all these other guys and doing all that. I think what I'm going to do is try to acquire more of that stuff because we let off the gas on that. And I'll do owner finance, and I think I can do something a little bit bigger. And I'll buy them and then owner finance those properties to other people that are looking to get into it, and that would help me. Generate, a little bit more income coming in. With that being said, the goal is for them to obviously pay it off. But if for some reason they don't, then, I want to work with people, right? Like, I'm not going to take advantage of people because that's a dead end road. Yeah. You only get so far.
Of course.
And then if for some reason they can't, finish paying or they get in a bind or whatever, hey, here's a couple options we can do. But shit hits the fan, and ultimately I could just resell the property to somebody else, and that's my goal, man. My goal is to, this year is to build the business credit, to build the business, revenue and grow that business, but also to slowly separate myself from being dependent on that W-2.
Man, I think a lot of people will tell you, get out of your W-2 as fast as humanly possible. I think I'm a little bit of the opposite. Man, I think if you're at a W-2, dude, you're at the plants.
Killing it.
Let's say you're killing it, making at least 6 figures. And I'm assuming, hopefully, you're bankable, right? Credit situation's there. You've been in this house for how long?
3 years. It'll be 4 years this year.
Did you buy this traditionally, like FHA, conventional?
Yeah, FHA, yep. I put like the bare minimum, and I've got honestly, man, looking at numbers, I'm probably sitting at anywhere from 80 to 100 at least in equity.
Dude. Now, I'm not saying sell the place. You don't have to sell the place.
I got a sign. I'll put a sign out
there
right
now. There you
go.
Just slap the thing on there.
Let's go.
No, man, but seriously, dude, I would say leverage your W-2, leverage your credit as much as freaking possible. Yes, the goal on that whiteboard is to eventually leave the W-2. I agree. That should be the goal. Do that before the year is over. But for now, man, leverage it as much as possible. Dude, if you're bankable, W-2 looks good, you look good, you're hot on paper technically, man, go out, get another loan, and buy something else. Traditionally. Buy another property with an FHA, with a conventional loan. Technically, you have to live there, right?
Yep.
Technically.
Which, I mean, is I think is 6 months to a year.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. You're already open to possibly leasing this house and getting out of this. You don't have kids. Man, you're telling me you wouldn't be willing to suffer and live in a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment?
Oh, dude, 110%.
You see?
I've already looked at like the East. I like the East End.
Beautiful.
I am, for some reason, I just like being in that area. I love it. And there's a lot of apartment shit.
Absolutely.
You know, what is it, like detached dwellings or whatever it's called?
ADUs.
Mm-hmm. That I could go spend 6 months of the year out there, right? And then
rinse and repeat the process.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat the process nonstop.
I think that's what it's going to do. I think one of the biggest things was for me is just to take action this year because I've been studying and I've been reading and I've been doing all this and doing all that, and it's useless unless you take action.
Of course.
And I started cold calling, and that Galveston lead that I talked about or whatever.
Yeah.
I finally annoyed the shit out of her, and she was
Did
like,
you?
"Yeah,
What'd
like
she
not
say?
selling or whatever, not happening." It's a house, literally 1 block away from this. Not even a block, a driveway away from the seawall.
Interesting.
I did the math. I can buy the property and still make some money if I get it for about $215 max. That's max, and that's me accounting for $50,000 worth of repairs on it without seeing the inside. And I lowballed her for $100,000. She was like, not happening. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, if you change your mind, whatever, let me know. In 6 months, I'll call you back. She was like, yeah, call me in 6 months. They're behind on taxes. And the kids or somebody, it looks like the kids are paying like $200-$300 like every couple months or so. Yeah. It's $9,000 a year in taxes. They're not catching up. Yeah. Like, it sucks, you know. And
of course, she
obviously is at the point where the city can't take it from her because of age, right? But when she does pass and the kids do get this property, like, I don't see them coming up with, you know, $14,000-$15,000 because they're obviously paying the bare minimum on it right now. So I just provided a couple solutions for her, and I was like, hey, I can do this, and that. She was just like, nah, she didn't like my offer. But yeah, man, like, that's, I don't know, I kind of went off. But
no, you know, like that specific scenario. What's the place worth? You said $250.
So you can actually, after repair value, you're looking at about $350, $340.
God bless, and it needs 50 worth of rehab.
That's just me ballparking it. It needs some outside work. I kind of looked at. I can't trespass.
I think, of course. I think, yes, lowballing the hell out of real estate is always the go-to. Obviously, man. Sometimes though, if you can pay the seller $150, you have to set the. Here's always been my goal, dude. It doesn't matter that scenario. She told you to screw off, which she didn't. She sounds like you used to have a relationship with her. But if she would have told you to screw off or whatever, the goal has always been for me, like I said earlier, to set the appointment and to meet them. Get her face to face, meet the lady, and talk to her. Build a relationship with her on the spot. Make her like you and love you on the spot. Make her laugh. Man, she'll cut you a freaking deal on the house. Maybe not $100,000, but from what it sounds like, if the place is worth $340 to $350, and if it only needs $50 in rehab, man, you could pay a lot more than $100,000. Yep. So that could be your first deal this year, hypothetically speaking.
So
you know?
I wrote her a letter, and I was like, hey, thanks for talking to me or whatever, and I'm glad the kids are going to do something with the property. If things don't work out or you guys decide to do something, don't hesitate to give me a call. If you have any questions, I've got a ton of resources. Boom, and I left my number, Fernando. Bam, and I mailed it to her. And obviously, I mean, I don't know if she got it or not, but I mailed it out, and I'm going to just keep tabs on her. Just, hey, happy whatever, I don't know, happy April Fool's Day or something. Just something to like, you know, build that relationship with her, because she was a sweet lady, man. Like it sounded like I was talking to grandma, you know.
Look at that, bro. Yeah.
And I'm just trying to like, okay, like how do I use what I have and the leverage that I have to obviously make a little bit of money on it, but also help her, you know. And I think that was one of the biggest things for me. And like kind of going back to like the success that I've had right now is because, man, the money isn't the object. Like, sure, it's the cherry on top, but dude, like I like building relationships with people. I like talking to people. I got a house right now that is for sale with a guy in South Houston, and he lives, breathes, and eats South Houston. I mean, he's all South Houston. He knows the ins and outs. Everybody he knows is in that neighborhood, and all, you know, he's just all South Houston. And he called me. He was like, hey, there's this house on the market. Let's look at it and see if we can offer him something. So I called the lady. I was like, would you guys entertain this? This is what we're dealing with. We can make it happen at this price. Not happening, especially if you're an agent. She's got to come out a pocket to pay you, so the price is kind of high with that, right? And I was like, so I called my guy back and I was like, hey, it's cheaper for you to go through the other agent and not pay me the commission, and you'll make more money that way. I got a listing for him, so I'm not worried about the $4 or $5 grand I'm gonna make off that, right? So
you're willing to look past it.
Look like, dude, get me on the next one. Yeah. Well, I doing my stuff that I've been doing, researching properties. I found, between me and my brother, we found 2 properties in South Houston that are just sitting, and that's right down his realm of stuff. The guy that just called me earlier, I want to talk to him because I know he's got a little bit of money. The guy that I have the house listed for is a contractor in South Houston, so he can do the work. He's also got a little bit of money. He's obviously looking to invest because he called me about that other property.
Of course.
I'm trying to leverage it. I found the property. How can we all win? One or two things. We can either split the property 4 ways. Y'all 2, me and my brother, or whoever wants to get into this, right? Being the contractor that you are, can we front some work? The way we would do this is I have an exit strategy where, 1, I can list the property and I can make my money on the asset of this deal, right? Or my brother is willing to finance the house and keep the house and pay us, what the loan ratio is or whatever, right? And he was like, I'm in, let's do it. And he was like, is there room for everybody to make money? I was like, yes, I will. Dude, if I can make $100 on something and go through the experience of it,
you're happy.
Those $100 for me is nothing compared to what I learned. You can't put a price on, experience. There's no value to that. Like, it's just something you got to go through to learn it. If I can put that in my book, build a relationship with those people, one that's a contractor, other people in the neighborhood that have, and they all grew up with each other, and they're all doing pretty good, and I know they have money. They want to get into this game, and they don't really know how to do it, right? And there's where I come in. Like, let me fucking do the work. Here's this, here's that. I ran numbers. Worst case scenario, I put everybody on the lien, and we all end up with a little cut when we sell this thing.
Right.
And then I can sell it, So, like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I've got off-market deals. I got tax delinquents. I got pre-foreclosures and city code violations. Is where my source of leads comes from, man.
Interesting, yeah.
So
man, just touch on that. That's a great what you're doing. The ability to do something like that. It's the beautiful thing it's the art of putting a deal together. That feeling when you put a deal together, God bless, dude. It's like a high, man. You can't.
And it's scary because, like,
get that feeling. You find the deal, you find the money, you find the construction, you find this other person, and you bring everybody together, and it successfully happens, dude. You will never.
It won't cost me anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can make some money off of it. It won't cost me. And that's what I tell people all the time.
The ultimate win-win scenario.
You don't need money to get into this stuff.
It certainly helps, but yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. But I mean, if you start doing that 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and then before you know it, if you can make, $10,000 on each one, dude, or whatever the case is, or a couple $1,000, dude, you can easily come up with like $100,000, $200,000 or whatever to play.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I've this stuff excites me. It gets me going, gets me riled up, and I love it, man. What is your end goal? I know that you naturally have this desire for more, this desire for it's like never enough. You can't turn that off, and that's similar to me too. But when is enough for you?
Well, that's 2 different questions. When is enough enough? I think being able to give back exponentially, that's when enough is enough for me. Whenever nobody in my family has to lift a finger, whenever my kids are set up, that's when it's enough, right? But I think it's way before then, technically. Like, man, I get my satisfaction from helping people. I don't get my satisfaction from money. If you get your satisfaction from money, from the income, dude, you will never be satisfied, ever. Doesn't matter how much money you make. None of that matters. What matters is what you do with it and your impact on the world. Bro, literally, like, I love to help people. Like, every time, like, I do stuff all the time, man. Like, for example, every time I see a homeless person, I always offer to buy them something. Buy them lunch or something, dude. And I was like, hey, walk across the street, meet me at that Jack in the Box, and I'll buy him something, And, like, dude, just small stuff like that, $10, $15. It's the best feeling in the world.
You change people's lives with
dude,
that.
That's my freaking purpose. Not money, not how much income is coming in, coming out. None of that matters. It's just helping people. That's when I feel enough is enough. But what's the end goal, you said? I think I'll always be involved in real estate. That'll never stop. I'll always own rentals. I'll probably always flip stuff, or I'll become a lender eventually. Man, really, I think the end goal eventually is like just to have some type of it depends what type of goal. Money and business wise, man, I'd like to have some type of bar or like a freaking restaurant or something, where people come and hang out at. Yeah. Like that's the goal, dude. But that's the business and income goal, is that eventually step out of real estate, find other business ventures to go into. On a personal side, man, there's so many things I want to do with my family. There's so many places I want to go travel wise. Like there's a lot more stuff, it's a kind of it's a broad question, if that makes sense.
No, but that's good. Like the bar thing and like the restaurant thing, I can relate. If you've been to Truck Yard in Houston,
absolutely,
I would love to do that right here in Kemah. Like somewhere in Kemah, like down like 146 in this area, like even as far as Bay Cliff,
of course,
where somebody can just like where I can host car shows and I can just bring hot rods in there, like the Dairyland thing that they do, like. Yeah. Dude, I would love to do that.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny you mentioned that. And you mentioned Dairyland. How'd you know?
I'm a car guy, dude. Like anything car related, like, dude, I'm in it. Like,
I've always told myself, dude. So I live in Alvin, outskirts of Pearland, Alvin. Man, anytime somebody wants to do something, they want to go out and have fun. If you live south of Pearland, even if you live in Pearland,
there's shit to do out there.
If you live south of the Beltway, what the hell do? You drive to freaking Houston.
Yeah.
You drive 30 to 45 minutes to go to Houston. Why the hell are you doing that?
Yeah.
Man, eventually I've said the same exact thing.
I know I stalked you.
Create something in Alvin or in the boonies where everybody's at, because there's so many people down south.
There's kids out there,
dude.
Man. There's a lot of kids. There's nothing to do.
There's not a damn thing to do. So creating that, man, it's funny you mentioned that, but I've had the same exact.
I think and then they're getting ready to close a racetrack in Baytown, right? And it sounds crazy. It sounds stupid.
Royal Purple, are they closing that?
It actually now is Houston Raceway. That's why I know you're a little outdated, because they changed the name of it, but it was Royal Purple. So this is the last year they're doing. Well, have you been over there recently?
No, man. I used to race. I used to ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
And I used to race bikes over there, and we used to go to another one, but I've never been.
Dude, there's so much industrial shit out there now. Like there's so many warehouses and like industrial shit next to it, and it used to be empty out there. It was just in the middle of nowhere. But everything's built out that way. Where now, from my understanding, I don't know how true this is, but they sold it to the industrial industry that's right there in that area, and they're going to start building on it for more business or whatever.
God bless you.
I would love to either buy a house with some land and or just some land and put a racetrack like in that area down there, because there's a couple circle tracks and a drag strip, but they don't use them anymore. They don't utilize them anymore. And there are so many car people, and there's so many events that I could think in my head that I would love to do as another business.
Isn't that cool?
Dude, yeah.
Isn't that cool? And that's the beautiful thing about real estate, is it is what you make it. Man, that is a certain 100% a possibility. My other thing, dude, I went paintballing 2 weeks ago in off of Beamer in Pearland.
Yep, that paintball zone.
Yeah, paintball zone, yeah. And I thought to myself, like, dude, what the hell? I could do this.
Yes. There's literally
I could buy 10 to 20 acres of land and like, bro, it's not a lot, right?
Yeah.
Immediately the business side of me is, okay, I have to buy 10 acres of land. I'd have to buy the equipment. I'd have to find somebody to run the show, hire a bunch of freaking teenagers and pay them nothing, because they'd love to work there. If you go to paintball zone, dude, who's working?
Kids.
16, 17-year-olds. Making
Look,
$7 an hour.
Free. You can paintball for free.
Exactly.
Kids,
you pay them peanuts and they're happy, man.
Yeah.
So, dude, like even like that, like a paintball field, a drag strip, something like Truck Yard, down south where there's nothing, like, man, stuff like that, dude, keeps me up at night.
Dude, and I'm the same way. I'm always looking. The thing is like, what my only limitation is that I feel, and the more and more I learn about it, it's not really a limitation. For the longest time, it was money for me. But with creative financing and so many people and like realms, and I mean, I'm sure if I call you and I'm like, hey, dude, I got this crazy business idea. I need some help. I need X amount. I need this. I need that. Or I need your resources. Do you want in on this? And we'll put it on paper. Let's look at it. Let's see what it looks like. If it makes fucking sense, your business mentality, and then, if I can provide you a little bit of equity or interest in the deal, like, I'm in. Like I'm fucking in. Like, and that's the goal for me, is to just, I don't know, man. I got a crazy weird vision, and I think I made the goal for myself this year to buy a Lambo.
Did you?
I'm not gonna buy it.
What the heck? You just completely defeated the purpose of a goal.
No, the goal is to be able to buy it.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not gonna go spend $200,000-$300,000 on it when I can turn around and make more money off of that, right? Okay. But the goal is to get to the point where I can buy this if I want.
Understood.
You know, and that's my goal. And I want to be able to do that. And I want to be able to, like, look, dude, I don't plan to change my lifestyle. I want to live in something like this, you know, 2-3 bedroom house or whatever, maybe with a little bit more land or whatever. But I want to be able to give, like, people the hope of, like, you can grow up like us. You can come from, you know, first generation shit, right?
Absolutely.
And you can come from my dad now, like, man, I love him to death, dude. And, like, now we have, like, more, like you said earlier, I can resonate with that because you were like, I wanted to ask my dad, like, certain things. Right? I asked my dad, they're like, what happened with you and mom? Because they divorced, right? And I was like, man, and, like, to see my dad open up and get emotional about that was, like, a big thing for me because, like, it's okay to be like that. It's okay to, like, say, hey, I didn't know, or hey, like, I made this comment the other day, and it's like you just grow up as an adult one day, and you're just expected to have all the answers, and like we don't, dude. Like our parents don't know, and who's supposed to figure this out? So like, my thing for me is learn all this shit that I can and put it out there. You know, if I get clowned on or ragged on or whatever for being cheesy or lame, I don't give a shit, man. Like somebody out there is listening to this, and every now and then I get somebody that's like, dude, I listened to your stuff. I was moved by your workout stuff, or I'm going to the gym because you were at the gym.
It's
like,
an amazing feeling, huh?
Dude, it feels good. And like, I don't know why people follow me. People follow me and people listen to this shit. And I just like,
stop saying that.
I know.
You know why. You're an amazing freaking person.
I'm a motherfucker.
There you go. You're the motherfucking man. Put it in the universe. Don't doubt yourself. Man, I want to touch on that before I forget because I have ADHD and I forget things. You know, one thing to the next. But man, what you said about being able to show people that it can be done, you know, even as a first generation Mexican American, like, bro, I don't have any kids, right? For a long time in my family was full of females. There was nothing but girls. I grew up with nothing but girls. I have 2 sisters, no brothers, all female cousins. Up to about 14 years ago when I was like, you know, 15 or something, I had my first nephew. Ever since then, dude, it's all boys. I have like a package. I have a collection.
Let's go. The legacy lives on.
I have a collection of like 8 nephews now. Not really, like 4 or 5 of them. But dude, the goal has always been like, man, to show these little dudes that, dude, this is freaking possible. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, I don't come from a perfect household, a perfect family. People always grew up, you know, I grew up in Sharpstown in the hood. So, you know,
were you there through the shooting mall era?
Everything, man. It was bad, you know. And my sister, my oldest sister, like, dude, she lived in that. Like, I lived in that. I grew up in that. Like, dude, the hood.
Yeah.
So it's you know, being in the ghetto, like, man, it's just like, ugh, you know. And being able to show these little dudes that you can do something.
Yeah.
Bro, the feeling is like, man, I have one of the best feelings in the world. I have a little nephew. I think he's like 6. We call him Chino. His name's Donnie, but we call him Chino. He's mixed. His dad's black. But we call him Chino, and one of the best feelings I ever had was, I forgot what he said, man, but he said something to my dad. He's like, are we going to go work in one of Theo's houses? Or he said something like that. And man, this kid, 5, 6 years old, to say, hey, are we going to one of Theo's houses? He has so many. Like, dude, like, it's not about the fact of the houses or rentals. None of that matters. It's just like showing these kids.
Planting that seed in their head.
Bro,
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dude, and like that's my biggest thing too, is like I try to like talk to my cousins and kind of get them involved, but they're at the point where like they're kind of figuring their own thing and kind of doing their stuff. And one of my younger cousins, I remember, dude, like, and my mom laughs at him because I told my mom about this, but he was like, when he was younger, like I had the Xboxes and the PlayStations and things like that, right? I had all that, and I remember they would love to come to my room. So I used to live with their uncle, and like they'd love to cook because I got all the cool shit, right?
Course,
as a kid,
right?
like like I'm the cool cousin, right?
Same thing, bro. Yeah.
And he was like, I remember he was a little kid and he was playing the video game, and he was younger, and he was just sitting there and he was like, you know, my life would be boring without you.
Damn.
And he doesn't remember this, I'm sure, but like I remember this, and I told my mom that, and like it's something that till this day, like I love having these guys over. I love getting them together. Like, I love showing them and being an outlet to, like, look, dude, like, I don't have it all figured out, but, like, I do pretty fucking well. You can do this, too. And this is how you do it. Like, get into this realm. Like, tap into this. Like, one of them wants to be a welder, and, like, I've got the welding machine, and he'll come over sometimes whenever he's here, and we'll play with it, and I'll show him, kind of give him some tips and tricks, and take him as far as I got with it, and you run with the rest of it, because I can help you there to give you those resources, but you got to – I'm not 100% there anymore. So, like, run with. And now I was like, dude, practice. You're gonna fail. You're gonna screw up some welds, but you gotta keep going. Whenever you feel like shit, that's when you need to be still aggressive with it. And he texted me the other day, and he was like, he's in class at school for that, right? And he was like, dude, I finally got it. Like, my bees look legit. Like,
look at that.
And I'm like, see, dude, take that with anything you do in life.
Absolutely.
Keep going. Keep trying. Be consistent. And the moment you want to give up, that's when you really need to do it the most.
Absolutely.
What?
I love that, man. Badass.
I don't know. I love that, a high, man.
I love that, dude. And it's the same thing. Like, even on a smaller level, like, we don't have to keep talking about family forever. But I have I guess he's a cousin technically. He's like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old.
My brother's gonna love this, by the way, because we found your Alvin story on YouTube or something. The interview you did with somebody on
which one?
You did some interview with somebody where you're sitting in the city. Yeah, we're sitting outside on a patio or whatever.
Okay.
I found that one, or my brother found that one first, and I was like, man, I'm gonna follow this guy. And then I started just creeping on you.
That was a Bigger Pockets podcast.
Yeah, I think it's what it was. Yeah, which is fucking awesome that you from Alvin.
Not from Alvin.
But you know, in that little like small neighborhood, Sharpstown, grew up from the bottom, the gutter type stuff. Have made it that far.
Absolutely.
I didn't mean to cut you off. But go ahead. What were
no,
you
you're
saying?
good. You're good. No, like, dude, his name is Javi. He's a little cousin, dude. He's like 10, 11 years old. The kid's never played sports. I'm trying to push him to play sports. So now what we do is, like, I get all the kids together. We go to the park. We throw the ball, football, baseball. Like, I try to get them and find something that they like. And you know, he doesn't come from. I'm blessed to say that I'm.
You're well.
I'm
good.
well, dude.
But we put in the work and like don't get it.
Exactly.
It's not cocky. We've worked to get to where we're
100%, dude. And so I have the freedom to help and do things. And I told him, I asked him, I was like, man, what do you want to do? He's like, I've always wanted to play baseball. And I'm like, why don't you play baseball? He's like, well, it's expensive. So it's
that
like,
sucks, dude.
Bro.
Like, that's sad.
And it's like, I know that now. So now what we do, we go a couple times a week, 2-3 times a week. Not a lot. I should probably do it more. And we go and we play catch with all my nephews and my cousins. And man, I'm going to sign the kid up for baseball in February. Yeah. And you should see him. He's freaking pumped. He's excited. He's got something to look forward to, you know, instead of just coming home and playing PlayStation.
And there is no money, no deal, no nothing that gives you that feeling, joy of helping some kid. Like, they look up to you. Like,
absolutely,
you're the cool person. You're the guy that helped them. You're the reason why. And I had this conversation with somebody else like yesterday. Man, a lot of us, like, we grow up and we end up in a point in life where we put our shit aside because we have to survive. Yeah. We have to financially survive. And we stop scratching that itch as kids where, oh, this is intriguing. How do I get into this? Or, oh, I'd like to, because we got to survive. We got to eat. I got to pay for the house. I got to do this. I got to do that. Absolutely. Like, and we can't afford to do that. And the goal for me, dude, is to just remove that financial stress where I can scratch these itches. You know, I can scratch these things. Something I'm doing now is I need to call and do it, but we're going to Mexico in March.
Where you going?
Cancun. And then one of my buddies scuba dives.
Dope.
And I want to go get my license to go scuba because I want to jump into that. Like, I fucking hate the water and I hate.
Do you? What the hell's wrong?
It's the fear of sharks, dude. And I know it's just a misconception. And I know, like,
I love the water, man.
I've seen the videos where, like, if you just push the head down. So I think if a shark does come to me, I'm like,
I don't think that works.
Stop.
It'd be a wrap, dude. Yeah. I heard punching the nose.
Yeah, the eyes or something.
I think if you see I see a shark, it's a wrap. Man.
He's probably gonna look at this little guppy, like little dude.
Prayer and forget about it. But I love the water, though. Go ahead.
No. That's it's just being in there and removing that, like, where you can do those things. And you know what the fuck's it worth, man? Like, everything you're doing and all that stuff you're doing to be able to get those feelings. Like that, dude, there is no price on that. Like, that is a beautiful thing. Like,
absolutely. My
cousin sent me something. He's like, hey, I found this land down here in, like, Brownsville or something. Like, they wanted this and that, whatever. And the fact that he started seeing real estate and he started seeing these things, like, that seed is planted. And he texted to me. He's like, hey, look into this. And I was like, I'm going to look into it. And I was, like, tired at the time when he sent it to me. And, like, I wasn't going to, reply. But, no, he took the time out of his day.
So you pushed yourself.
To reach out to me and do the. I can't leave him hanging because he looked after me. And, like, I'm like, hey, dude, awesome. I'm going to look into it or whatever. And I did. And it's just not something that I can afford or something that I want to move into that realm just yet. But the fact that he was looking
deep.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him going. I'm gonna get him, and I'm gonna show him, like, dude, fuck all this work shit you guys are trying to do. This work smart. A question for you that somebody does. My buddy Blake posted something. He wanted to interview somebody, and I may have to link y'all two together. He's also an agent here in like Pasadena, League City area on the south side.
For sure.
But something that I saw, and shout out to him for sharing this because it got me thinking. Landlord, talk to me. Is it all hyped up like it seems? How do you structure this stuff? Do you have a system in place, somebody that runs this for you, or are you fully hands-on in that?
You know, I manage everything essentially. So maybe I don't manage it.
Oh, we got to wrap up.
Yeah, we do. I gotta dip. I have a 12 o'clock and let's wrap up in a little bit.
After this, yeah.
Yeah, but it sucks though, man. I feel like we can go on all day, dude. Yeah, man, it's crazy. We'd have to do this again. What was the question? Landlording, man. You know, it really just depends. It depends on what you want to do, man.
Because I hear like, oh, you don't want to wake up in the toilets in the middle of the night and all this or whatever.
Yeah, but it depends who you are. You know, essentially, like right now, I'm in the stage where I'm interviewing different property managers to manage everything. Because dude,
let's open up a business.
Exactly. You see, that's the business mind is starting something. My mentor wants me to go in and we can create something like that. He already has something. He wants to bring me in as a partner and stuff. Like, dude, there's so many options. But I'm at the point to where I'm literally at my limit. Like, I think 40 units is it. That's all I can manage.
Dude, whatever you need help with, like, I want to learn. So if I'm not charging you nothing. Whatever you need help with, something that I can do.
Say
like,
less, bro. I'll send you a list of things.
Dude, yeah. Like, what do you? No, seriously. Like, what do you need? Because like, it's a realm of business that I'm trying to get into.
Yeah.
So if I can do it for free and learn, and you coach me and say, hey, dude.
Man, I'll tell you, it's the same thing I tell everybody. Sorry to cut you off, but dude, if you ever want to do anything, we could probably connect more off of this. But dude, I'm an open book. Like, come visit some stuff, man. Everything. The apartments in Galveston, the apartments in Alvin, everything, bro. Like, we can come visit.
I just want to follow you on a day. Like,
let's do it.
Like, I'm sleep in the same bed with you, and
bro,
I'll get up.
Let's do it.
I'll get up when you do. But is it all hyped up like what it seems, or do you like you're starting to kind of venture something out?
It's not as bad as some people say. It's literally
as bad
what
as you make it.
It's what you make it, dude. If you want it to be the nightmare, if you're the guy that's going and working on a leaky toilet, my goal is to never get. I grew up with my dad, seeing my dad get his hands dirty and work with his back. Brother, nowadays, that's my last goal ever. I don't ever want to get my hands dirty. I don't ever want to do anything. I don't do anything. I have a full-time maintenance guy. He handles all of the maintenance requests. We get probably 2-3 calls a day. My assistant, she handles a lot of the picking up rents.
So you got systems.
Dealing with vacancies. Absolutely. At the very beginning stages, not everything's where it's supposed to be. Every day it's a learning process. But, man, I try to do as little as possible.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to the property management, that's the goal. Do as little as possible. I don't make money managing residents. I make money finding and closing freaking deals.
But you make your time back, and that's something that
you do, absolutely.
It pays for itself. Like your time to money.
100%.
Yeah, like at some point, like it's gonna cost me this much time to do this.
100%. Yeah.
I can go make more money over here, and then take some of that to get my time back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My maintenance guy gets paid good money. My assistant gets paid good money. Everybody's getting compensated well to the point to where they feel happy with that, you know? So now it's just me sticking to this side of the business, which is the making money, finding deals. That's it. That's all I want to do. That's all Mike ever wants to do is talk to sellers, go on appointments, close deals. That's it.
Are you open to, if I find a deal or something, can I maybe like JV it to you or just toss it to you or whatever?
Absolutely.
I'm not going
to. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But I have an option, man. That's definitely, I've done it before.
Okay.
Agents bring me deals. I'm licensed. If you bring me a deal, we could take it on. We could discuss the specific financials. We could discuss everything. I can bring the money to buy the place. I can bring the money for renovations. I can bring the construction background, the knowledge. You just bring the deal. At the end of the day, you can list it once it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And I've got some guys that are looking to kind of play with a little bit of money that they have. If you, just me as a personal favor, if you find something that like you don't want to handle and you just, it's not your cup of tea or whatever the case is, like shoot it to me, man. I'd like to at least give it to those guys. I don't want nothing from it. I just want to help this guy kind of put him in a position where he can play and he can kind of learn and get involved in the industry, man.
Absolutely.
I know you have to get going and I know your time is valuable to you. Dude, we can go on forever. I truly do thank you for taking the time out of your day and your life to come sit with me. This is a vision of mine that like I have and that I enjoy doing. And man, dude, like I said, thank you for coming and sitting with me. It's been a pleasure getting to know you as a real estate person, as a human being. Hopefully I can get my truck running and we can go cruise Dairyland soon.
Absolutely,
man.
bro.
Maybe you might want to come out to C10 Nationals with me, dude.
That'd be cool, man.
I'll get the Airbnb. I'm already going. It's gonna be me, my brother, and then one of my
Where's
buddies.
that at?
It's in Fort Worth, like Dallas area.
Huh.
So it's not that far. It's March or May
C10
14th or
Nationals.
15th.
What's the other big one? C10's in the park. That's a
Yeah,
big
that
one
one's
too.
a good
Did you
one
go
too.
to that?
No, I didn't, but my truck's down, dude. I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like,
true.
hey, I got a truck.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like where's it at? You know,
I have man, my two C10s. I have a
Yeah.
78 and an 84. The 84 is the project. The 78 is the one that's a little bit.
dude,
nicer.
whatever. If you need help with that, dude, like I like doing that. There's just no money in that, you know, like,
Yeah.
and I can time leverage it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, no. Thank you for sitting with me. We can fucking go on forever,
Yeah,
honestly. But I know you got shit to do. So again, thanks. Like I said, if you need anything from me, dude, like you said, open book. I'm an open book to whatever. If you need help running errands, I got a truck, dude. I can get a trailer. My brother's got a skid steer.
Mm-hmm.
We have resources. Like, so if you think of something that you can't handle, and I would just love to shadow you and just get involved with what you're doing. One,
Absolutely.
to educate myself and learn. And then later, of like, hey, dude, I found something. Like, can we, like, for no money, just let me walk down the process with you here.
Absolutely.
How are you gonna do this? How are you gonna do this? So
It's exciting, man. Like,
yeah, I'm
dude, right
fucking
now,
pumped,
I got to drive to Hobby Airport to go look at a 25-unit apartment building. Then driving down south to Brazoria, Texas, to look at 43 acres for $400,000. It's like $10,000 an acre. Like, bro, it's an exciting freaking.
it's fun, man.
Dude, it's fun as hell.
It is
fun as
and-
hell. So
and,
whatever you want, man. Shit, we could do something.
dude. Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Thank
bro.
you. Like I said, I appreciate it. I know you got to get going, and that's about a 30-minute drive, and we got to wrap up here. So, dude, any last things you want to? Oh, where can people reach you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me anywhere. You can find me Facebook,
Wire, please.
Instagram,
Yep.
Wires Please, WIRES Please. The quick story about that, it's like when you're at a title company, you know, they say, hey,
Yeah.
do you want to check? Do you want to wire? I always say Wires
Wire,
Please.
Yeah.
And yeah, reach me out on Instagram. That's probably the best.
One last thing before we go, if you could give yourself younger you advice, what's something you would tell yourself?
Man, almost exactly what I did. Find somebody that you can relate to that's doing what you want to do at a higher level and glue yourself to them. That's it.
Provide resources and be of value.
Be of value, provide resources, glue yourself to them literally. Nonstop, glue yourself to them, stalk them everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, meet them, get in touch with them, work with them every single day, work for free almost in a sense. And do everything you can to become a copy of them and eventually surpass them.
Brother, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sitting with me,
Cool
man.
beans, man.
That's a wrap. Thanks, guys.
Later, guys. Bro, that was so cool, dude.
Yeah, man.
That was fucking awesome, bro.
No, dude, I love this shit, man. Like, I genuinely do.